Hi everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to be making this pretty Christmas tag using some new products out of the holiday catalog. So let's get started. I am going to change the tag up just a little bit, so we'll try it together because I love the way it came out, but when I flipped it over, there's nowhere to really write your message because I embossed this. So I did start off and I already cut this out. We're going to adhere it to the back so that's you have somewhere to write a to and from message. So this was cut out using the tailor-made tag dies. And they come like this. There's a set of 2 different shapes and they are layered. So we're using out of this one, the biggest one here, and then the smallest one for our sentiment. And then this coordinates with the set. This tailor-made tags is out of the annual catalog, just so you know. But this coordinates with this bundle from the holiday catalog. Let me just, once again, I have too much stuff for my space, but, and this is the Time of Giving stamp set, which is really pretty, and you can use it for a few different seasons. And then the gift giving dies, which have some really pretty dies in here. And this actually, this is the one we're using. These do not cut out. So you can trim it yourself or you can just use it the way it is on your project depending on what you're doing with it. So let me just show you how we're going to work this. So again, I have the largest tailor-made tag from this shape, and then I have a piece of basic white that we're going to be cutting the Santa and reindeer out of. So let's start with that. Let me bring up my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Here we go. Let's see if I can keep it in frame. All right. So one thing to note when you're putting through anything that's a rectangle or a square shape is not to do it dead head on like this because it's harder to get through the machine. So you just want to, even just slanting it a little tiny bit will help get it through without it being so tight. This piece of Night of Navy that we're using is a scrap piece, but it's approximately 4 1/8 by 2 1/4, just so you have a reference. So let me put this on. But you can see that the Night of Navy is really tight on there, so if you had a bigger scrap, that would work as well. Moving all over the place on me. There we go. Alrighty. Let's put that down for a moment. So this pops right out like that. And then this piece, you can see this comes out, but we're going to have to trim around it. Now you could use it, like I said, like this on another project, depending on what you wanted to do. And I've actually cut it out completely so there's no border to make it look like the sleigh was really flying on another project before as well. Let me just get these pieces out here that didn't pop out. All right, I think we've got that. Let me put this aside for the moment. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to emboss it using the snowflakes from the Wintry embossing folder. And the reason why I have both of them out is because they do come together. And these fit in the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machines as well. So if you have a mini, this would work in that. So we're just going to put this down here, slide this in however you want the snowflakes to land. Probably pretty close to the camera right there. Hopefully it's not blurry. And then take this plate to go on top because it is a thicker embossing folder. So then this comes out like this. And then we need to do our sentiment before we start putting it together. So again, I have a scrap piece of Night of Navy, and we're just going to be using this Mary from the Time of Giving stamp set. Let me just move this aside. I don't know where my little, there it is, die is for this Mary, but all right, so I'm going to use my Stamping Emboss Buddy, and then my Versamark ink. Ink that up. And then take my white emboss powder. Let me just put a little scrap piece of grid paper so I can put the excess back in easily. And we'll just do it one more time to make sure we got in all those spaces. Alrighty. Just blowing on it a little bit to get some of that excess off. If you blow too hard sometimes, though, the embossing powder comes off, but you can always re-add it. So let me just get this back in order here. And I think it's better if I do it on this side. So we're just going to line this up with the Mary. Whoops, oops, I got my fingernail right in there. Let's do a little more embossing powder. Whoops, that's a lot of embossing powder, but that's okay. Let's see if I can get it back in without spilling. There we go. All right. Be a little more careful this time. All right, so we're going to just line that up and put this on here. Again, just tilting it a little bit to go through. I'm not tilting this piece around the Mary, just tilting it to go through the Stampin' Cut. Oh, I didn't emboss it. Oh my goodness, I'm having a day today, aren't I? Let's get out the heat tool before I send it through the Big Shot. The Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Oh, maybe I should start over. There we go. All right, now we're gonna put it through here. Good thing I caught myself. That would have been a mess. All right. There we go. Okay, now we are done with the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. And we can start to assemble after we cut out this piece here. So I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there is a little bit of a groove where the die was, and that's basically what I followed, the outside of that groove, to just snip it out. And it doesn't have to be exact, or if you wanted it thicker, you certainly could do that as well. All right. And then one more side. There we go. So now we can start putting this together. So what I'm going to do to adhere the back is just use some of this Stampin' Seal. And I want to make sure that the nicer side is up on the back. So you have a, not that this isn't nice, but you can see the grooves of the, from the plates on your emboss machine. So we're just going to line up the holes and the edges and hope this comes out right. There we go. just a little over the edge there. And I can just trim that up just a little bit. That worked out pretty well. There we go. All right, so then to adhere this piece, I'm going to use some of my mini dimensionals. I'm going to put the full mini on the Santa and sleigh, and then I have some cut in half here, and we're just going to put a half on each reindeer. Oops. All right. There we go. Whoops. Does not want to work quickly for me today. All right, there we go. So then what we're going to do is just take the backings off. And adhere it. Now I adhered it closer to the edge here than I did at the top because we are going to put in that Mary as well. So for the Mary, I just took a regular dimensional, put it on the back, and then just made sure my hole lined up, but I wanted to make that go not straight across so you could see the reindeer a little bit better. So now what we're going to do is just take a piece of this really pretty real red, let's see what this is, mini ruffled ribbon in real red. And I'm just going to cut off about 12 inches so you have enough to tie onto your gift that you're going to be putting it on your gift bag most likely. And we're going to thread this through if it wants to go. There we go. And then I'm going to take a piece of twine. Now this is from the Baker's Essential Twine Pack and Baker's Twine Essentials Pack rather. And again, I'm going to just cut about 12 inches. And we're just going to tie it around here to hold it in place. Now let me just straighten out my red ribbon a little bit better. There we go. "12 inches is probably more than you need for the twine. I definitely don't need quite all of this, but sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to tie if you've got a little extra, and then you can always trim it. I just don't like to waste my ribbon or twine. Okay, there you go. So there is the one we made. Here is the original, and again, I did put a backing on the one we just made together rather than have something you can't write on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.